I'm going to be talking about some of the biggest obstacles that organizations are seeing when they're trying to maintain resilient operations. I think today's world, as security leaders, security practitioners, even business leaders, feels a lot like everything, everywhere, all at once, and we're really no longer in a world of being able to just protect organizations and kind of feel like our risk management efforts are getting us to where we need to be. Like resilience does have to be the mindset, because there's always going to be something we didn't think of, or something that we haven't seen before, or some misconfiguration, and that's on top of the fact that we know the threat landscape is evolving every day. Businesses are changing every day. Users have bad days. It's just a lot to deal with. So it is a necessary mindset shift that needs to happen when we're running our security programs, right? We want to do the things that we know we need to do to protect the business, but we also have to put a really deliberate effort into the mindset of we also have to be prepared for the things that we haven't thought about. So jumping right into this here's what our adventure is going to look like today. I'm going to set the stage a little bit, talk about where a lot of the content is coming from, talk about cyber resilience to make sure at least all of us here on the same page in terms of what it is and how we should be thinking about it. Then we're going to get into what's so complex, like why is it so hard to do, and why do we need to be thinking this way, get into some of the obstacles, some things we can do to stand a fighting chance, and then we will wrap up. So let's jump in. A lot of the context that I'm going to be talking about today, like statistics and research and survey results and things like that, are coming from the World Economic Forum, a survey that they did at the end of last year. So I'll get into those details in a moment. But first, I wanted to share a quote that I thought was really interesting and relevant, and I am going to read it here. So, in the 21st century, building resilience is one of our most urgent social and economic issues, because we live in a world that is defined by disruption. Not a month goes by that we don't see some kind of disturbance to the normal flow of life. Now, this quote actually came out of a book called The Resilience Dividend, and it was written by Judith Rodin, who's the former president of the Rockefeller Foundation. And what blew my mind is that she wrote this book in 2014, and this quote has nothing really to do with cybersecurity. Because you think about 2014, that was back before we had the pandemic, before AI was all the rave, like a lot of the things in the technology space that we're dealing with now. But this is incredibly relevant. I would say not a month goes by, but really not a week, and sometimes not a day goes by that something happens to disrupt the normal flow of our lives or disrupt the normal flow of business. So I just thought this was a very relevant quote that was really ahead of its time. So getting back to the World Economic Forum report. So this survey, it was a 24-question survey, and then there were a number of questions, maybe 9 or 10 questions that were specific to CISOs. There were 321 organizations that participated in the survey, where the survey results were actually used in this report across 57 countries, and they also conducted 43 one-on-one C-suite interviews. So a lot of the challenges, the struggles, and the outcomes of that information that I'm going to share with you today is from this report, and I do recommend looking it up. It is titled the Global Cybersecurity Outlook 2025 report. They did one in 2024 as well, if you want to compare, but a lot of good information in there in terms of what organizations are thinking about as it relates to cyber resilience and how they're going to approach making sure they have resilient operations. So now that I keep talking about cyber resilience, let's make sure we're on the same page about what it actually means. Because if you ask 10 people, you're going to get 15 answers. Some folks will say, it's the ability to bounce back, or it's being able to get back up in the face of adversity, or get back to normal quickly, or adapt in the face of adversity. And the reality is, it's all those things. And so when we think about cyber resilience, it's literally the ability of an organization to sustain essential operations and services, even in the face of cyber attacks or disruptions.